wanted to give you some information and kind of show you about the Word Magic Smartboard game that I think would be great for literacy learning in any classroom. Because it encourages kids to expand their vocabulary and then also practice their spelling. And then see when they don't spell those words correctly with immediate feedback. And it's a game, so everybody likes games. I don't care how old you are. So first thing, I got this game from the smartboardteamgames.com website. So where you can play this on a smartboard if you have one of those in your classroom. Even if you don't have a smartboard in your classroom, the kids still could come up to your computer and play it. So basically this is it. So if I click here, it takes me to the link of Word Magic. Okay, and you can either do it as one or a two-player challenge. Okay, so if you do a two-player challenge, okay, basically what it'll do is on the website. Okay, let me go back. That didn't work like I wanted it to. So there it is. Okay, so basically you would send this to a friend. So you would type in your name, whoever your friend's name is, and then your friend's, your name, sorry, then your friend's name, Bob too, and then your friend's email address. And you would send it, and then it would provide a link for you to both play at the same time. So I don't have a friend right now, so I can't do that. But you could do it with other classrooms if for some reason you had two smart boards in your room, and you could have teams going on that way. Or have one group on a computer somewhere at a workstation, and then one group at a smart board. So lots of possibilities there. So, but for now, we're just going to do one player. Okay? So we're going to do one player practice. And this is great for kids because you can show them. So you have a timer up here. And then this shows your word list, okay? And so we have instructions. So you pick a letter, you are blue, the challenger is red, so this shows that if it's two-player. Purple means you and the challenger pick the same letter, and you spell a word. So that's something to think about. Now look here. So the word eat, not a really complicated word. It's not going to be groundbreaking. If you have younger kids, especially if it's a fifth grader. But it's still worth 660 points. So if you have maybe some ECE students that maybe spelling's not their forte, or you have, so a student with a learning disability who mixes up words, maybe it's dyslexia, this would be great for them because they're like, I got 666 points instead of like, oh, you got 3 points. So it can be a confidence booster in that. So it's one of the reasons I also like it. So I'm going to close out of that. I'm going to play again. Alright, so let's do some one-player practice here. It's pretty easy. So your student would just go up to the board. Of course, I'm not doing this on the smart board now. I'm doing this on my computer. So let's spell it. Say I want to spell the word, let's see, 4. F-O-R. So I spell that out, and then I hit go. Okay, and it gives me points. 930 for the word 4. A lot of points there. So then let's say I want to spell the word queen. That's a big. See, 4,000 points. So I'm not sure how it assigns the points, but that's pretty great. So let's say your student spells a word wrong. Let's say they spell, and they meant to spell the word lay. Word not found. It doesn't say you're wrong. It gives the idea that hey, this isn't a word we found. Try again. So in it, on an earlier time I did the word QI because I do play Scrabble, and it took it. So it's quite an expansive dictionary. So let's do some other words. And then it takes the letters away. Oh look, there's a word right there. Don't even have to think about it. And a lot of times I think it does do that where it puts words right in a row. And I could see this being overwhelming for students. That may be a downfall depending on the student. They may try to, do like a crossword puzzle, sequence, excuse me, to where it's like, all they have to be on a row instead of just going, so I think I would definitely play around for my students and, see how, that's not a word, hello. Where's O? See, there's no O. There we go. So if you make a mistake, here's which Oh, see? So then it gives you the score here, so you don't have to tally it. So that's why I kind of like that. So it's useful for all students, first graders, second graders, kindergarten, all the way up to fifth grade. So you can even use it in high school. And say, put a minimum. Okay, the words have to have at least 4 letters, or the words have to have 5 letters. And then if your student accidentally does a word that's under 3 letters, you can take those points away from them. So you could do this as teams where, they run up to a word and then another student gets there and presses out a word on the smart board. That'd be a really good warm-up activity for the students. They would get excited about it. I like playing words like this. I know there's a game out there that has that, and I'm totally drawing a blank for that game. Back again, I had to stop the recording because I had to know what that game is. So it's kind of like Boggle, except the letters aren't permanent. They're constantly being replaced. But this is free and online. And most schools do have a smart board and internet connection as well that you would need to play this game. Let's see here. Now, as far as higher order of thinking, it's a pretty simple game. They're remembering previously learned information, but the argument could be made that it is also, evaluation. They are choosing, and concluding. They're, evaluating, the letters that are given in front of them. They are arranging them, assembling them, categorizing what's going to give me the most points. So the argument could be made. Yes, they are remembering previous knowledge and converting it and finding letters that match up. That can be, the argument could be fought there. It's not the highest order of thinking game, on Bloom's taxonomy, but, the argument can be made that, depending on the level of kid, it could very well be. For me, I don't even think of it, but it does give me pause, I'm like, oh, well, I want to try to get, more than, your 3-letter words that we normally see in elementary school. And really the purpose, of this game is that, really it just enhances spelling. There's so many adults out there and so many students that their spelling is terrible because, we have taken spelling tests out of the curriculum, and I think it's very important. These kids are exposed to texting where vowels are left out and there's abbreviations for everything. They don't know how to spell basic words. There's the common joke that, teachers, it's how do you even read that? The handwriting's terrible and then the spelling's so terrible. Sometimes I have to ask my husband, what do you think this says? And, he's an English teacher, so, he does that a little better than I do. But he teaches adults, not children. So, that being said, sometimes we still can't figure it out, and I teach music. But I do believe spelling is important. If they don't know how to spell, even the greatest context may not help you when you're reading something. So that's all I got. So this is Word Magic. I think it'll be a great game for literacy. When I say literacy, I think of reading, writing, English, grammar, not just the reading part, as a lot of people do. That's the definition. So that's all. Julie Powers signing off here. Have a good day.